heroism. It's the pursuit of two ideals, excellence and a higher purpose. This noble mission is not just found in Hollywood. It's a game changer for businesses devoted to it. Almost all business owners launch their company to make a difference in the world around them. Join us on the Heroic Experience as we talk with business owners, senior leaders, and established entrepreneurs so that you too can elevate your business to heroic success. Now, here's your host, John D. Hanson.
Welcome back to another episode of the Heroic Experience. We are proudly sponsored by Kaufman Media. Check out their digital signage solutions and far more on their website, kaufmanmedia.com. That's spelled C-O-F-F-M-A-N media.com. Such a pleasure to have Shannon McGill,
Hello.
founder of SMG Align, and a good friend of mine. I love the energy that's just as soon as she walks in the room, and you're going to feel it through the microphone. Plus, we're going to have a great conversation. She's my guest today. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. This is amazing.
I love it. And the best part, we always started off with, tell us some wow stories. And we usually only have time for like one or two, but of clients that have worked with you.
Absolutely.
And their lives change. And they're like, where have you been all my life? We'd love to hear about that, Shannon.
Oh my gosh. So this is such a fun start, right? It's one of those things that coming into this, it's so exciting. And I am in a transition at the moment, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But as I become more and more in alignment with who I am, it's funny that the people that I've worked with have almost been accidents. And I say that because I owned a small business service company, right? And as we were providing those services, then I would get hooked up with these small business leaders, and we would realize in order to build successful businesses, we had to kind of go back to the nuts and bolts and build successful lives.
Yes, right.
Right. And so in the process of that, then I would unofficially start working in a coaching capacity, finding some of those areas and just the best way to describe it is linking arms with someone, right? And starting to move forward. And so I've had multiple of those. And one lady in particular that I'm thinking about, she owns a mildly successful business. And I say mildly successful because she's putting everything she has into it, right? And it's maybe was not bringing back the returns that she wanted. But
Got it.
As we dug into that process and what she's doing and that kind of thing, we started to realize that so much of her self-worth and so much of what she was basing her happiness on was success in that business. And as we started to dig into that, we realized so much else of her life was falling by the wayside. And as we started to, as we started through that process, referred her to a mental health therapist to really start to dig into some of that damage, that emotional damage that she was carrying around, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting, as we walked through that and as she started to put the foundation in her actual life, not only did she become more peaceful, more happy, those kinds of things, right? Her business took off, right? She was working less hours. She was working, but it was because all of the fear and the stress and everything she had tied into that, that didn't belong in the business, right? Her self-worth didn't belong in the business. It really started to take off. And that's when I really started to realize that I want more than just to provide small businesses resources. I want to provide small business owners with the tools to have those successful lives, right?
Yes.
Then I had another situation where a business owner here in Columbus actually reached out to me about a year and a half ago. And he had seen a lot of my stuff on social media. And that has just been a passion project of mine for the last 3 years. And he had was going through some anxiety and depression and really didn't know what he wanted to do with his small business and, that kind of thing. And as we started working through that process, I started to realize that more and more and more, I can just throw all the resources at someone that I want. Right. It doesn't change their lives. We can build a successful business and someone wastes their lives in that process, right?
Yes.
And so he and I ended up not doing anything with the business. Nothing at all. What we focused on was him repairing his relationships and him repairing the financial foundation underneath of him that he had really thrown wholeheartedly into the business with good intentions.
Oh, sure.
But it put him at an uneasy place, right? And so those are the kinds of things that and we'll talk about it, but as Dime unfolded, I realized I was being pulled further and further and further away from the things that I really, really loved. And that is linking arms with people and helping build successful lives first and then successful businesses.
Well said. And you've touched on something that I've seen. COVID just kind of magnified everything, right?
Yes.
But it especially magnified the idea that you should be including people in your life that are going to help you achieve more. It's almost like there's this wall in our minds that in business, you don't bring along a coach because that means you're inadequate, right? And instead, we need to flip the paradigm, and it's happening. We need to flip the paradigm and if world-class athletes, all of them have coaches.
Right.
And they're at the top of their game. Why wouldn't we benefit from the same thing? And
Absolutely.
I think COVID helped magnify not only the need for it, but the fact that more and more people are actually doing it.
Yes.
Coaching has exploded. And that's why I really look forward to our last segment where I really want to get into the differentiators because there's literally thousands of coaches out there now.
Absolutely. And I think that's the interesting part about it, right? A coach has to be in alignment with what the person is trying to accomplish, and not only what they're trying to accomplish, but who they are as people, right? And it's a journey, and it's a journey that you're taking someone else on and looking for their input. And so it's very, very important. I am not for everyone,
right?
But the few people that I am for, those business owners or those professionals that we are in alignment, we're going to make each other's lives so much better because we can link arms and move forward together.
Sure. And you read the stories or the biographies of coaches, particularly in the sports arena, that have had tremendous impact on players' lives, but it was a two-way street.
Absolutely.
It was so rewarding for a coach to work with a player who was hungry, who wanted to learn, was coachable, and just saw their potential blossom, not because the coach is the world's greatest, but because they helped unlock the potential that was already there.
Yes.
And you get in your own way.
Yes.
Business owners so many times get in their own way. Entrepreneurs, great ideas, but we get in our own way sometimes. Got about a minute or so before the first break. What would you say has been the most rewarding light bulb moment that's come on for you as you've seen the light bulb happen for them?
It's interesting because the people that I've found the most success with, are people that are literal mirrors for me. Right? And so I see things in them and I'm literally like one step ahead of them and discovering things for myself, right? So it truly is linking arms because they are showing me something that I've been realizing, and I am able to give that wisdom back to them. The really important thing is just remembering that we all have it inside of us. We just need each other's helps to bring it out.
Yeah. So much baggage comes along.
Yes.
Gosh, time flies. I love these conversations. Okay, so we're up against first break. When we come back, we're going to hear Shannon's story. Now, if you want to hear these episodes, The Heroic Experience can be found on Spotify, Podbean, our YouTube channel, Accelerated Revenue, on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can find it on our website, Accelerated Revenue. That's ACCREV.com. All different ways to hear amazing stories. So join us back after the break when we hear Shannon's story. See you then.
Inspire, influence, and connect your audience with digital signage. Kaufman Media offers customizable digital signage solutions designed to meet your company's specific goals. Whether you need digital menu boards for your quick service restaurant, digital displays for marketing in your retail stores, or wayfinding and unified communications for your schools, your corporations, or your healthcare facility, our customizable, affordable options and proven experience make us the only partner you'll need for your next digital signage project. Visit kaufmanmedia.com today to learn more. That's COFFMAN media.com.
Would you buy a car from a dealer without a test drive first? For your business, a consulting partner is even more important. Accelerated Revenue is excited to announce the Take Us for a Test Drive event. Receive 2 exclusive workshops on customer experience and winning culture, a customized culture snapshot, and a leadership strategy session worth over $10,000, all in for just $2,500. Best of all, when you onboard our consulting team, we'll credit you the entire $2,500. Spots are limited, so visit our website today at accrev.com/test drive.
Check out John's worldwide selling book, Wow Your Customers, 7 Ways to World-Class Service on Amazon. Now, once again, here's John.
Welcome back to the Heroic Experience, where we are committed to elevating your business to heroic success. We're proud to be sponsored by Kaufman Media. If you've never heard of digital signage, it's everywhere. It's all around you. Check out their website, kaufmanmedia.com, for some examples and how they can help your business. That's COFFMAN media.com. Shannon McGill in studio with us. Love the energy, love the conversations, but this really has to be my favorite portion of the show. There are only 3 segments, but this one, by far, my favorite. I have a degree in history. I have a degree in business. But the stories are what compel me. I love business.
Absolutely.
But I'd love to hear your story. Far back as you'd like to go.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, it's funny you say that because I always joke that I may not remember someone's name, but I will remember their story. Right?
Isn't that true? Yeah.
It is, yeah. And so it's this whole journey, the best way I can describe it is an adventure. Like, you know how when you, my kids are video gamers, right? And they play these adventure games, right? And if you put yourself in the position of that character, they're achieving amazing things. But there's a lot of hardship that goes along with that, and developing their skills and finding treasure along the way that they take with them, right? And that's exactly how I view the last several years for me. I up until about mid-30s, something like that, I was very not in alignment with who I am as a person. My self-worth was based on my image of myself was based on how good I could fit into the boxes that the people around me told me that I needed to be in, right? So I very much minimized myself. I very much tried very hard to be what everyone else thought that I should be. And so through that process, there was a lot of codependency. There was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of depression, right? Because we're not meant to be someone else.
Right.
We are created to be who we are, right? And so through that process, though, about 6 years ago, something right around there is when everything started to happen. And in about 18 to 24 months' time, my father passed away. I bit into a McDonald's hamburger that had a bone in it, and that bone broke a tooth. That tooth, when they removed it, it was a 4-hour, just horrible experience, and it caused nerve damage.
Oh my gosh.
And I ended up spending 15 weeks in a Chicago hospital trying to get on top of the migraines that the nerve damage caused. Wow. So there was that.
There was that.
There was that.
Just those 2 things. Yeah.
My kids were involved in a school shooting. Which was a horrible experience. We ended up having to declare bankruptcy because of all the medical bills. My son broke a foot on one side of his body, an arm on the other, and ended up in a wheelchair for 6 weeks in surgery and all kinds of good stuff.
Wow.
Someone very close to me was sexually assaulted. My ex and I split up after 18 years of marriage. It was just 2 years of just this constant pummeling.
Yeah.
And during that time is when I realized there's something different in life. I didn't know what that was. I was dealing with a ton of anxiety and depression, but I stepped out on faith that there is something else. And I've got to be honest, the first year and a half was awful because I finally was to a point where I was working with a therapist and I was really digging in to what is this damage? Where am I in life, right?
Yeah.
But through that process, I have gotten here, which is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
right. And so because I've discovered who I am and I've taken the time to heal and to grow. And so through that process then, I realized that, okay, I want to work with other leaders. I want to work with other entrepreneurial-minded leaders, right?
Yes. Right.
And so
Yes.
that's when I launched Diam. And then through that process and that growth in that process, we had huge goals. I brought on a CFO and a COO, right? We had a team and we had huge goals, and it was so exciting. But as they unfolded, I realized more and more and more, this is not in alignment with what I want to be doing, right? What I love to be doing is the coaching, the consulting, the public speaking, the writing, those kinds of things. But what was happening was I was getting dragged more and more and more into those responsibilities of driving the business's growth, and which is awesome. And I needed to do that. But in that CEO role, that was not what I was passionate about. And so it was time to kind of step back and revamp. Now, do I regret launching it? Absolutely not.
No.
The treasure that I received from that, as far as experience and relationships and the ability in business, is freaking amazing. And I am so excited that did it end how I wanted it to, or how I thought it was going to? No, right? But it was time to make that decision and move on into the next adventure. And I think that's what my life has been. And that's what I'm excited to continue taking to other people. For the last 3 years, just as a passion project, I have put out on social media a lot.
Yes.
I've really focused on intentional fearlessness and being vulnerable and being authentic as far as my journey in all areas, right? And the amount of feedback I have gotten from that has been crazy overwhelming and just very humbling to know that my journey has resonated with other people.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's what's very exciting to me.
Yes. Man, you touched on like 18 different things, but I don't have time to talk about all of them. So let me hit the 3 ones that just jump off the page at me. First of all, you started opening the segment with a video game analogy that I think is so appropriate.
Yeah.
Because while people think, video games, but that's not real life, and it's it's never as easy as the video games where you're doing this. But the analogies you can pull from it can be so powerful.
Yeah.
Where nothing in life goes according to plan as we have it mapped out. And if your life does go according to plan, you don't have enough going on. That's my opinion.
I agree, 100%.
Because I talk to people, if it's the same thing. Now, there's people that love routine. If that's what you love and that's what you enjoy, do it.
Right.
But the vast majority of people are not satisfied with that.
No.
And they'd see, well, Hollywood does a great job. Social media does a great job. All these things that aren't real make a great job of making it seem simple. Making it seem like you start here, you get there, and they don't show the journey through, the treasures you pick up along the way, but the hardship, the learning curve. How many times did you have to restart as a character when you were first learning a video game, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get from level 1 to level 200 on the first time you sat down. You had to learn the game. Well, life is very much that way too.
Absolutely.
The thing you said about who you are, I actually wrote about this yesterday on a post on social media on LinkedIn. That I think we undervalue. And I used to think that any kind of self-awareness is selfish because the word self is in it. So juvenile. But once I understood that so many people underappreciate how unique they are.
Yes.
Like there's only one of you. There's only ever going to be one of you.
We are created with these amazing pieces to fit exactly with what we're supposed to accomplish. And we spend so much time trying to sand off those pieces. Right? Or put someone else's pieces in place.
Yeah. Or you could have something that Jim Collins wrote in his book, B 2.0. He said, good is the enemy of great.
Yeah.
Well, there's things that we can do that are good things.
Yeah.
But if they're not in alignment, as you've said multiple times, which is a great word, if they're not in alignment with both what we love to do and what we're good at, right? Then you're going to find out I'm good at this, but it's not fulfilling. It's not rewarding. And we shouldn't shortchange ourselves when we make a change that's best for us, because that will also mean that it's going to be better for those around us.
Absolutely.
Yes. Up against another break. My gosh, that segment of all that stuff you shared. Authenticity, resonating with others, sharing your story, those things matter. Well, when we come back, I want to hear about the cool things that are going on with you and SMG Align. So join us back after the break.
Did you know that 70% of U.S. residents 12 and older recall seeing digital signage in the past week? Digital signage provides a 35% reduction in perceived wait time with a 30% increase in a customer's in-store browsing time. Kaufman Media offers customizable digital signage solutions designed to meet your company's specific goals. Christina said,
"We love our digital signage. The software is easy to use and we can publish content in minutes. It allows for every department to be seen and have a voice."
Visit kaufmanmedia.com today to learn more. That's COFFMAN media.com.
Attention event planners. Is your company or association planning a conference, seminar, or staff retreat? Are you looking for fresh ideas on high-demand topics like customer experience, leadership, empathy, customer service, earning and keeping trust, and more? Then you need to book John D. Hansen as your next speaker. Brooke said,
"Great presentation. John's concepts help shift my thinking. A good fit for my life right now."
read more testimonials, discover John's full list of speaking topics, check out pricing and more on our website, accrev.com/keynote.
Would you like to be a guest on the Heroic Experience? Contact us at john.hansen@accrev.com. Now, once again, here's John.
Welcome back to the third and final segment of the Heroic Experience today. We are proudly sponsored by Kaufman Media. Visit their website, kaufmanmedia.com, to check out all the ways they can help your business through digital signage solutions. That's spelled COFFMAN media.com. Shannon McGill, SMG Align founder. She's our guest in studio today. That second segment, my gosh, if that didn't resonate with you listening to this, and so many things came out, we could talk quite a bit on all those things she unpacked in just a few minutes. But we have got to get to her, SMG Align. I want to hear all the exciting things that are going on, what's in store,
Absolutely.
Where people can follow you, connect with you, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So this is a very exciting time to jump on here because of the transition that we are in. I mentioned Diam Business Consulting several times. That was the company that I did own, and it was a small business resources. We, as a leadership team, made the decision to make some major changes this summer that ultimately led to realizing that is just not what I wanted, right? For the company. And going into it, what I envisioned was helping small business owners create those successful lives as well as their successful businesses. And so as this fall has unfolded, I've realized more and more and more that my focus needs to be on that coaching, on the public speaking, on the writing, on those things that bring me passion and power, right? Because that's where I help other people as well. So SMG Align's brand new. We haven't even officially launched yet. We're taking on beta clients at the beginning of January to start just a few as we start to unroll the package. But it will very much be a coaching program that is designed for small business leaders, entrepreneurs, and also professionals who have found success in their professional lives, have reached goals, have keep moving in that direction, but realize that maybe their lives are not as successful as they want them, right? We very much look at physical, mental, and spiritual health are key components for keeping successful lives, but then also professional, financial, intellectual, social, which includes all your families, friends, relatives, associates, right? That kind of thing. And then experiences that we have, all of those are combined to make us who we are, to give us the memories, to grow us, to provide successful lives. And so we dig into it multi-pronged because we really do believe I can't help, well, I've got a very strong business mind, and I can help that business.
Sure.
Strong business and successful businesses are only based on successful people behind them, right?
Right.
And so there's a couple of different things we're launching. We're working directly with the leaders.
Okay.
But the other part of this, and one that I'm very excited about, and I've had some business leaders already approach me about it, is working with staff in businesses to find what they are aligned with in the business. What are they passionate about? What are they excited? Because we try so hard to separate our personal and professional lives.
Yep.
When we can bring it all into alignment, we're all healthier. So that one's going to be launched a little bit later than the individual coaching, but that is something that's on the horizon as well.
Gosh, that's so cool. Several things.
Yeah.
Number one, I love the holistic approach of things. When you're dealing with a person is not just, like you said, we shouldn't, and for so long we have, separated personal and professional. We bring our family with us to work whether we like it or not.
Right.
They're sitting right there next to us. We're emotional beings.
Yes.
So if you're not going to address all those things that impact us, then you're really not addressing the person. You're
Absolutely.
just addressing a slice.
Right.
And like you said, how horrible would it be if someone succeeded at business and their life is just falling apart?
Right.
That's not their life. That's
Right.
a piece of their life.
Right.
Yeah, and the growth mindset too. What you shared on that last thing is super exciting because it reminded me of Jim Collins' idea of you've got people on the bus. They're valuable people. You don't want to lose them.
Yes.
But the greatest trick sometimes can be getting them in the right seat on the
Right.
bus. And until you've got the right people on the bus and the wrong people off, right people on the bus in the right seats, that's where the magic just starts to happen.
Absolutely. And it's not just their skill set.
Right.
It is what they're passionate about,
Yes.
what they're gifted in, what motivates them, what brings them energy, right?
Right.
That is where people just shine. That's where people like showing up to work. They want to be there. They want to work as a team.
Yep. Yeah, right. Because it's not just hard as it is to find a place where people love going to work.
Right.
Imagine if you could plug them into something that they either want to learn and get better at or something they're already good at.
Right.
And aligning that with their work.
Absolutely.
Like then their work becomes exciting and enjoyable and fulfilling. They already know they're a valued partner in this whole thing, a valued team member. Hopefully they know that. If you haven't told, by the way, I'm just going to say this is not on the script. If you haven't told your top performers that they are invaluable and tie something tangible to that, they are not going to assume that they're the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Right.
They're going to assume we're our toughest critics. They're going to assume that silence is deadly, as a former manager of mine said. If you're not telling them, their assumption is going to be they're doing okay.
Right.
And what if somebody comes along that loves what they see and says, we would love to have you part of our team. You would be a great asset. And they haven't heard it for I don't know how long.
Right.
They're not assuming that they're a great asset. You need to tell them they're a great asset. And there's a difference between flattery and encouragement. Flattery is making somebody feel nice. It's like eating cotton candy. Boy, it's fun, but it doesn't last.
Right.
Encouragement, on the other hand, is tying something tangible to who they are or how they do their work or a skill that they have, something they've done for a client. Tie it to something tangible. If you do that, those words of encouragement will go so much farther than anything else you could throw at them.
Absolutely. I love that differentiation. I think that's a beautiful way to state that.
So, what's the best way to follow you, Shannon?
The best way to follow me right now, if you want to see this whole journey unfold, and continue, welcome to reach out to me via email. I still have my Diam business, so it's Shannon, SHANNON, at Diam, DIAM, business.com. But if you want to see the journey unfold, I'm on LinkedIn, Shannon McGill. I'm on Facebook, Shannon Close, CLOSE, McGill, MCGILL. I'm on Instagram, Shan_McGill_. And as this unfolds, there'll be YouTube, and I'm jumping back into the podcasting arena and all that good stuff. My podcast is at the corner of hot mess and badass. So because that's what this journey feels like a lot of times, right? So it's just moving through that space in a way that's authentic and valuable for other people.
Oh, that's hilarious. That has got to be one of the most intriguing titles and most authentic title I think I've ever heard of a podcast. Now, guest might be, wait a minute, am I a hot mess or am I a badass?
Well,
I'm not sure
that's
which.
The thing. At any given moment, we can move into whichever space, right? And the more we're growing and the more we're putting ourselves out there, the more we're experiencing the badass the hot mess initially as it aligns us to the badass.
Well, yeah, because nobody starts off being that. Everybody sees the 12th inch of success. And they don't see like the millimeters of progress, the millimeters of setbacks that were the learning curve to move farther ahead or to start getting jumps, right?
Right.
Nobody sees that, and we do a great job. But that's why I think your journey is so compelling, your story is so compelling as you're putting it out there, because it's the bumps in the road that everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
Most can't relate to, not yet, those huge socially recognized achievements.
Right.
But if they can be pointed to the fact of the achievements they have made and what they've overcome, that by itself is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shannon, great conversation with you. You need to follow Shannon McGill in any way that works best for you, because this story is going to be so fun to watch. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you so much.
Join us next time on The Heroic Experience, where we elevate your business to heroic success.
This has been The Heroic Experience. To learn how your business can be profitable and heroic, visit ACCREV.com. For access to free weekly content, subscribe to the Accelerated Revenue YouTube channel and follow John D. Hanson on LinkedIn. To listen to archived shows, find them on the Accelerated Revenue website under the Resources tab, ACCREV.com.